time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Hey! Woo! Happy Friday! Woo! Yeah, look at that. Hey, massive crowd. Wow, that was fun. Hey, all right. Hey, welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam session. I'm Richie Cronin, your co-host, and this week joined by a very special guest and someone that I've had the privilege of knowing for a number of years now. Taylor Stillman. Welcome, Taylor. It's great to have you here.
Thanks, man. Awesome to be here. I'm pumped.
Yeah. So
awesome Friday.
I always like Friday afternoon. You know, it's kind of a bit of a highlight. It's a great way to finish the week out and get ready for the weekend and stuff for the day. But you know, Christmas is just around the corner. We've been festooned. I moved a few things in the office here and my Boonies mountain dog is actually on the couch out in the lounge having a snooze, so she wouldn't play ball. So I got the fake one instead, which she's not a big fan of. She likes to sit there and bark at it and doesn't know why it doesn't talk back to it. But yeah, here comes Christmas. Hey, how you been busy, Taylor?
Yeah, we just actually had an event last night, so it went amazingly well. We had probably 80 plus, 85, 90 people come through in total. We had probably 60 people milling about, filling the place up the whole night long. Like the final picture, I think we had 40 people in the final picture. So it was amazing turnout. We filled a minivan with toys for kids in need. We got a ton of new signups. It was an awesome night. Like I'm riding the high from it still. So I'm pumped to be on. Talk about
it. I went to an event last night and we did the same thing. We filled a table of toys for kids. And the organizer of the charity came along and gave us a bit of a speech and stuff on that, and told us about his journey and what he's doing. Just a remarkable young man, and it was fantastic because everyone, you know, it's part of a group I'm part of called the Table of Knowledge. Long story, I won't get into it now. And it was all about having a couple of Guinnesses and something I do like to do. And we just sort of said this: the charity was involved. Bring along some presents for kids, and everyone made the effort to go out and buy really good presents, and it was so wonderful to see it all there. So I think that it's a great thing to do at Christmas time, and you know, it's celebrating that time of the year because not everyone is as fortunate as we are. Anyway, I digress, which I do often. Let's welcome a few people along. It's great to have Enrique's here, Bob, Jacqueline across the pond. Always good to catch up, Jacqueline. Chris Byrne, my buddy up in Detroit. John Hardiman. Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
Dawn. Well, there's no party without punch. Dawn's here. Fantastic. Barbara. Woo. Yeah. All righty. It's a shark fest. Let's get into it. So, how's your an event last night? TK's here. He's joining us on the YouTube. Great stuff. Janice, how's your agency business and stuff and that? We're coming into the closeout of the year. I know for me, I've got kind of next week is the last full week of getting things done and tidying things up. My 25 planning is due to be finished at the end of next week. So that's where I've been sitting, but just crazy busy this time of year. How about you, Taylor?
Yeah, pretty much too. We're trying to get everything wrapped up. We have a few clients who are trying to get on, like at that end of the year expense in before they close everything out. So I have like a Chamber of Commerce that's working up with us who actually met through the networking group, and they're trying to get everything on the books, pay for the project up front and mark it off for 24. So we got a little crunch time, but things are good. I like this time of year. It's a good angle, you know. You're looking to get some services, you need another write-off at the end of the year, and people kind of like hop on that pitch sometimes. So
it's a great point. And Jason Moran joined us last week, and he said the same thing. He said that this is the perfect time of year to create that tax write-down situation. So you can go to a business, say, buy 6 months worth of SEO for 25, get the benefit of it in 25, and the benefit of the tax write-off now. And so, yeah, it's a great strategy, and something that I actually put out to a couple of customers this week is like, hey, here's what we need to do next year. What's your appetite?
Why don't we do it now?
And you can do a small deal on it, but really it's the convenience of not paying that in tax instead. So it's a great space to be in, and it's a smart thing to use, even if you're only new in your agency business. It's not so much about you; it's about them and saving your customer money. So yeah, good strategy.
For us too, it's that sponsorship dollars. You want that, like, do you still have any marketing budget left in 2024s? And then if they don't have that, then we're first in their ear when they start making those 2025 plans. So we started pitching sponsorship for next year's shows last month. And then this month we're going hard out to get everybody on or get on their docket. So in January, we're talking to them about the first spend of 25 and getting that marketing budget for promotions there too.
Yeah. Do you find that does your market, your target audience for your agency, do they kind of kick back into gear straight away in January? I know in places like New Zealand, where I come from, things really kind of stop at Christmas, and they don't really come back until early to mid-February. So you kind of get that lag time,
Yeah, I mean, like anything else, you have the hungry killers who are like, Christmas is done, like holidays over, I'm going and going and going. And those are the people who are like jumping on the ball. Like, it's a new year. I want to start this week, the first week of the year. I need a new everything. I want to get things running great. I want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row for 25. Like, and then there are the people who are like, whew, 24, it's over. Holidays are over. Let's just chill for January. And so I see that mix, but like the people who are hungry and going to get it, like January's motivation for them. The people who are like, whew, we had a busy year or a rough year. Those are the people that I see often like kind of sit back and chill out a little bit. But
yeah,
it's a great time on the event side for us. It's a great time for planning things. And on the agency side, it's a good time to find those people who are hungry. Like 24 didn't go their way. You talk to them a couple times and like you put the bug in their ear, and they're the ones that are calling in January like, hey man, I need this done. I want a new site. I really liked what you showed me last year. I didn't bite. We got to move forward this year. And like I see a lot of that.
And you and so you're planning on I go through a planning exercise that starts in October. In November, I kind of start putting the bones of it together and stuff and that. And when so I kind of know where I'm 80% done by the time we get to December. And but the last 20% is the really big part, because I do, and that's what's due next week, or the 15th, is my self-review. And I review my own performance for 2024. And that's the last part of what I'm putting in there for 2025 is, how does my performance need to be better, and all of those things. And I know this week there's been a couple of really good posts in the Facebook group and stuff. Tom Gaddis put a really good one up about mindset and your focus and the things that you change about yourself to make you a better agency owner and a better doer at the end of the day. And I know that Norm came back with some great advice. Nick Ponte had some great advice as well. So that's why I do a review of myself in the last sort of working week of the year. Is what did I do good? What did I do bad? And
those are the hard ones sometimes, but you got to be brutally honest with yourself. Be like, all right, what did I really do good on, and what did I kind of like do okay on, and what do I need help with?
Yeah, and it sets my tone for doing things better. I think one of the things I remember from last year's review of myself was I used to be really good at listening to what people were saying and listening to people and stuff and that, and not listening because I was waiting to speak. actually listening to what people were telling me. And it's a habit that I sort of got away from. It's like, I'm so busy. I've got so many things going on. I just got to like bang, 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 and everything else. And I've tried to deliberately this year just slow myself down a bit and just really hear what people are telling me. So I think I've done a reasonable job of it. It's, not back to my prime, but it's those things that actually make a difference to my business. And and another one I focused on was our own internal culture, and with my team and those things as well. And so really spent a lot of time and effort in developing that culture. And they have had, both of those things have had great positive effects for my business this year. So now I'm going to feed that into what we're doing next year. I see Dawn, he says, Richie, you're going to have to let yourself go. Performance is just below par for the relationship to continue. That could well be the case. I might get replaced by Molly the burner dog. A better way and everything else. What else has been happening here? Dan Less is here on YouTube as well. Fantastic. Good to have you here, Dan. We should talk about a couple of things. I know you've got something really exciting coming up next week, which is another, I think, the third in our series of black belt trainings. Which is really exciting, and I think these they've been really successful, really popular in diving into someone that's taken a core product, I would call it, AGM, Reach, those kind of things, and gone and adapted it to what fits your agency business, and created a proven system that works. So do you want to give us a bit of an overview about what your black belt is all about, and how you wound up coming to this point of having a black belt training?
Right on. Well, for anybody who doesn't know or who hasn't seen me in the group for a while, I have my agency, but I run a networking group for cannabis businesses in the Northeast. And we do monthly networking events, we do comedy shows, we do live music, we do product launches, we do a little bit of everything. And we're moving into all the other stuff like the comedy and the music from where we started 3 years ago, which was just doing networking meetings. And the whole thing came about because, I love networking. I think networking is probably one of the best ways to grow your business, especially if you're small. There's nothing beats, I like walking into doors. I like cold calls. I'm one of those weirdos too. But networking is you can't beat it. You go out, you meet people, you work on a pitch, you can figure out what works, and through networking, I met my partner who we started our group with. And it's, from 6 people at our first meeting to 85 people last night.
Wow.
And it's been a solid journey. I mean, and, not every event's 85 people, but every event we have people who show up and love it. And we're making connections for businesses, and they're making money, and we're making money through those connections. And as I get the whole list of everybody that shows up at every event. So my agency contact list, I have 600 contacts just from running these events. And these are people who have met me and know me or know the group. So there's that instant referral authority to every one of those contacts that we've come through too. So the course is really kind of how to start running events for free, build up your authority, build up a community, and then spread it, grow it, be able to utilize it, how to get sponsors for your events, because then you can offer people free drinks, free food, free whatever. And the more things you have to attract people, the more people are going to show up,
Free water.
Well, there's that too. We get those too. No, actually, if I could, I got this is a little last night's. Good thing they're blurred out for legality. But no, we had Santa sacks last night at our event for everybody who brought a donation, and all our sponsors put something in the bag, whether it's free product or a coupon or,
awesome,
some kind of swag. I mean, and people pay hundreds of dollars to be able to do giveaways.
Yeah.
Our members get to put them at every event for free. our sponsors. We have a giveaway tier on all our sponsorships, on top of if you want to sponsor the event, pay for the drinks, help with the venue, anything else like that. But we mostly do free venues, and it's a fun way to meet people and to grow your business. Like, I have a great time. I get lots of free product. I meet all the business owners in the area. And at the end of the day, all those contacts are mine to cultivate, like it's, and like last night we had people who come up and they're like, dude, this is the best thing ever. Like, I come out on a Thursday night, I have a couple drinks, I get to hang out with cool people, and there's always different people. Like, one guy told me one of his best memories of last summer was at one of our spots, because we did it at a seafood place on the beach, like literally on the beach. And everybody stayed till 11 o'clock at night. The party ended at 9. Everybody stayed till 11. People just wanted to hang out. He's like, dude, that was one of my best memories of the summer. I'll never forget that.
Fancy.
And there's nothing, nothing beats that. I was like,
it's permanently imprinted in him. Is like, these things, I've never missed one of these, and
right.
And of course, you have positive experiences. You tell more people about a negative experience, but those kind of positive experiences get repeated again and again and again. So it just builds the network even bigger. Let me ask you, Taylor. So you're in the cannabis niche, and that's what you're based networking on. But it would pretty much apply to almost any niche.
Any niche where you have, like, where your heart's in it. Like, I'm an artist too. Like, if I wasn't doing this, I would be hooking up with local artists and crafters and vendors and doing something with them probably. Or, like when I was doing personal training, like I would find like the health sphere. We'll cover some of that too in the course, but like spheres of business, who interacts with who. If you understand that stuff and you can figure out like where your passion lies in a sphere and who's related to that, you have that whole sphere of other businesses that you can target, and they're related to what you like to do. So whether or not it's your agency, and for me, I don't push Too Tall Global when I'm at UCAN events. Like, when people start talking to me personally after we're done with sign-in and stuff, we get into that. Like, I signed up 4 people for the agency. Like, I have discovery calls to do next week. But my priority is getting people into the group. Like, who do you need to connect with? Like, when people come in, when they tell us what business they do, I automatically know where to send them. But, I'll ask them too, like, hey, who are you looking to connect with? If this is your first time coming, what brought you here? Who are you looking to connect with? And then we're cultivating those relationships for people. And that's where, like, that's the money. Like, networking is connecting. Connecting is money. Anytime somebody's at a networking event and they're shaking hands and they're going to call each other and do business, they've made money through you.
I know last year, I had Nash, East Nash local going and stuff, but I got more business out of going to the pub than I did out of all my outbound prospecting for East Nashville. It was remarkable because it's just straight out networking, and you should get in with a couple of people, and then you get introduced to someone else, and then someone rings you up and says, "I was talking to such and such. They said talk to you about this." And I know that the past, I was saying last week, the past 4 months, effectively, we've done 0 outbound prospecting because every week we get more inbound, and another 2 this week. That they haven't been converted yet, but an e-bike rental company on Monday, and then on Wednesday a roofing company that is new to Nashville. So there's that's targeted for follow up in the new year and stuff. But we start planting the seeds now, and that inbound prospecting comes from networking and relationships with existing customers and just meeting people. Also, I met a plumber Friday week ago. I went to watch a football game, sat down beside him at the bar. We went, after about an hour, we were chatting away. He said, "What do you do?" I said, "Digital marketing." He goes, "Oh, actually, I need someone to look at this, and stuff." And, I've swapped a couple of emails since, and hasn't converted yet, but I was just sitting at a bar having a beer, watching the rest of the game, and so it's everywhere. If you craft an event, and I guess there are some niches like think about plumbers, for example, plumbers and electricians. there are already a lot of companies that are, say, supply companies and stuff, and they have those breakfast networking events and those things and that, or, you know, their trade supply and all those stuff and that. But that can be something that a large business like a Home Depot could run. Or if you're in the area, you could do it for them. That would,
or if you're a supply house, if you have a client who does plumbing supply, like every plumber buys their stuff from them. Who else? Who are their vendors? Who do they work with? And then you have Moen or somebody else who provides fixtures. You're like, hey, I'm doing this thing. Like, that's kind of what we've done. We moved from like working with the individuals, expanding out from there. Like, we're dealing with ServPro, you know, like they do national cleanouts everywhere. They want to get into the market. We talk to some of their regional people. They sponsor one of our comedians. And it's like, you just build off all those connections. And eventually you end, if you ride those connections far enough and you put enough time in and you're reliable, those big connections start coming through. You know, like we have banks coming to us now. We have mortgage companies coming to us. We have national companies that aren't necessarily in the cannabis business, but they see that there's profit there and they want to get in on it, or there's an angle that they can use. Like ServPro wants to come do cleanouts for cultivators. Every time they're done with a clean out, you know, with a grow session, and they're done with their harvesting, who wants to come in and clean it up? They want those contracts.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's you know, it's not limited to any particular niche. I mean, I was just thinking inside my head, the marbles that are rattling around. You could do one for dog walkers and mobile dog groomers, you know, and because you've actually got someone who's dealing with someone who owns their client, you know. So if you're a dog walker and stuff and that, and then they go, oh, I met this mobile dog groomer. They're talking to the owner of the dog. Met this mobile dog groomer, and that they work in this area every Wednesday and stuff in that day. And then you're effectively referring sales for them as well. But then same with the mobile dog groomer is like they're going, oh, I really need to find someone to take the dog for a walk. You know, I'm working 6 days a week. And so they go, oh, I met one, you know, in this area here, you know. So that networking, you sort of wind up feeding two businesses, but as a digital agency that's putting them together is, you know, you get in front of the right people. And
right.
Then, of course, you've got dog supplies and treats and stuff like that. I mean, it's like not going to be hard, is it? You know, so there, I've given a wee gem away already, and or maybe I should come along next week and get Directory Accelerator and just go and do that one as well.
You should.
Yeah, first to market, but I mean, look at that, and that's I could do that here in Nashville, but it could be done.
Do it anywhere. Anywhere there's a group,
Maine, you know, you name it, man. Go anywhere, you know. Yeah. So,
like your local town, if you're doing an AGM for your local town, and you just want to be like if you have a regional chamber of commerce and you have a little town, but with enough businesses and enough new people, like, you know, you have to understand your market, but it's possible anywhere. Like, as long as you have something to offer them that somebody else isn't giving them, you know, like look at BNI. There's a BNI chapter in every town. There's a chamber of commerce in every town. Like, our BNI president got reelected for like 3 years in a row because she did socials where we interacted with other groups. So it's not just, you're not just in your own little insular networking group, you know, and we don't, you know, we don't have rules. Like, we can have as many whoever's as you want in our group too. So people can interact, and there's not a lot of competition inside. It's like, hey, if you like this person, you hang out with them, work with them. We have 4 other people who do the same thing if you didn't like them and are still looking for somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah. Hey, Jacqueline asks, what do you offer them, Taylor? Is it a free listing on your AGM, or what's the intro point?
We offer them the world, Jackie. We give it to them in the palm of our hand. No, we give them a free listing when they want one, and then our members get member spotlights. They get added into every post we do. We have a little member bar that we stick at the bottom of all our graphics. You know, if in the beginning, before we get big sponsors, the member bars on everything we post that's not an event related where somebody else is spending the money for it, our members are on there. We'll do shout outs for them. We share their posts. We do whatever, anything they ask for us, we'll do as members. And then for the free stuff, you get a listing, you get to come to the events. If you want to do a giveaway, we give everybody who shows up new the chance to do a giveaway at their next one for free before they have to pay for it or before they want, because then we're giving them the opportunity to talk to other people. I mean, that's really what we're giving them. We're giving them more networking events than your chamber does. We're giving them more laid back and it's kind of social events where you can be like, I could show up like this, or I could show up in a suit and tie. And, you look at our crowd and it's very diverse. So, but we start with a free listing.
The beauty of being kind of, niche specific, industry specific, is more relevant for a lot of people involved in that business and in that community than a chamber of commerce. Nothing against chambers of commerce, but you've got a wide selection of business owners, and so when you've got a group of business owners that are all in the same game, that networking becomes a lot more valuable. And so it's I mean, if I went to my local chamber and there was a bunch of lawyers and accountants and car dealers, and someone would go, well, not really my thing. I've already got a lawyer, I've already got an accountant, and I've already got a place where I can buy a car. So I just think it's there's a lot to be said about being sort of community specific. And
what does the chamber do for you? You're a member and they put you on their directory too, which is what we do. And they give you a badge to put on their site. But what do they do for you?
Yeah. And well, I think, my experience with chambers, they generally charge a lot for delivering a very little. But they can't, if you're not part of us, then you're not part of us, and you go, I never saw a lot of benefit in the way. That's from when I was in Christchurch, and here in Nashville, I looked at it and thought, should probably get in there and forge away and stuff. And I haven't done, and I haven't needed to either. But I also think they're charged at $3,500-$5,000 a year, and I'm like, nah, I just don't need it. If it was $350 a year, I'd be like, yeah, sure, be a member. But
we charge $420. And people like the gimmick.
There's and so that's so that pays for the operating cost of everything, and then the money on top is websites, SEO, that sort of thing.
Right. And then it goes to the setting up the next event. So, if we want to set up the event before we have a sponsor, and then we just have money in our kitty from memberships. If we need to pay for the venue for one of the concerts, we already have our own money to do that. And then we just recoup that money as the sponsors get on board. And we haven't, our first few events, we were like, whew, we need some sponsors on board. And at this point now, like, we have sponsors signing up the morning of. We're like, can we still get on? Here's some money. Take our money. Come by and pick up our product and throw it in your bag. So, and now, like, every event makes us money. I mean, we're not putting on rock concert money on this, but every month we're making $500,000 extra dollars for putting on an event. And that's just for the event itself. That doesn't include the memberships we got in, anybody else who wants to do something in the future, any ad space we sold or anything else. That's just on the event itself. So no matter what, we have a good amount. Like, we have a nice sized bank account now for UCAN. Just based off 3 years
from small beginnings, and so your very first event, that was how many people?
6
people, and last night was about 85.
85, 90 people at least came through.
And your membership number is?
We have, I think, about 65 members right now. A lot of those people are going to repay in January, but we do recurring, and nobody ever fights the recurring. I mean, one place has gone out of business. Like, the cannabis business kind of changes. People sell out, people move on, people gave it a shot, like, kind of like the digital marketing world. Like, you see an opportunity and then you go for it. And like a lot of people do here, like, not everybody makes it. It's a, sink or swim, and some people just don't swim. So
and you touched on before with if you've got an AGM, a community resource site in maybe a large location, maybe a small location, stuff like that. Really easy to just to pivot into doing the event side of things, the networking side of things, and not that won't have any negative effect at all against your outbound prospecting that you're already doing in free paid listings and stuff like that as well. Is it something that you would maybe add another section to it, and so it's got kind of a member login and those things? I know the AG team can use a member login, so I imagine there's a little bit of coding in that, but wouldn't be impossible. Well, you've got it there already branded.
And for the GHLers or the people who are big on Facebook, you have a private Facebook group for your members. We have a private Facebook group for our members, if I can talk. And then we're building out a community in our GHL for them too, so members can interact. Like, hey, I saw you at the networking event, didn't get a chance to talk to you. We're doing a sale on these things. I meant to ask you, do you guys want to do it? And you can just communicate direct inside that community too. So that's kind of, we have a ton of big plans for lots of big things, but just to move out of the Facebook community, because for us too, and we've asked people at the events, would you rather have a Facebook group or would you rather have a dedicated button on your phone where you go to come here? And some people are mixed. Some people are we just stick on Facebook, but 70% of people are dude, it would be nice if I could just have a spot to go to just do business here. Because I get on Facebook and I get distracted. You know, you're in the group and then you see your DMs, get a message and whatever else. So we're building that out for January 25. We're redoing the site this year, January 25. We're doing a lot of remodeling a little bit, but bare bones, we've gotten this far on, we started with zero.
And you're using, so you said you're using Go High Level, which my whole business is built off Go High Level. It's I personally, I don't think there's another tool in the market that comes even close to it. It's just too easy to use. And funny, the membership communities area of High Level is something we've been working with the last 6 to 8 weeks. We've really been getting into them. Especially now you can factor in the mobile app with your community as well.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, there's too much there, and it basically similar to school. We have a few school groups at Offline Sharks, and the format is school inside of High Level. So what you can do around event calendars and everything else in there, when you build up a community, and it could be 60, 80 people, could be 5,000 people. And it is so easily managed, especially with automations as well. So, you want to do newsletter stuff, you want to, notification settings. There's so many things you can do to just keep that community going around. But as you touched on, if you did it in Facebook, then you get distracted in Facebook and comes up, and then somebody sends you a message and that, you're off and away. And so your attention doesn't stay right where you are. But if you've got a member login to something like that, and then the profile side of things sitting on an AGM site, perfect. It's really complement each other. Jacqueline, how many events have you run so far, Taylor, and how often do you run them? Yeah, please do.
I think that was our 40th event.
Wow.
We've literally done one a month for 3 years. We've done a couple where we did 2 a month. So we've done 7 comedy shows, 2 concerts, and 36 events, networking events. Probably 30 events, because we don't do April, because April is 420, and we don't compete. Every other business in our industry is doing something in the month of April. So we pitch into somebody else's. This year, we're going to help support one of the dispensaries events, and we're going to have a food truck that we've sponsored. We're actually going to sponsor somebody else's event this year, but that's the only month we don't do our own.
Gotcha. That's but you've got a lot of credibility when you get to 40 events and stuff. It's like, hey, this stuff works, and it builds a lot of momentum. What do you think would be any of the pitfalls in getting going and stuff? Is it a case of if you kind of half bake it and you go, only 5 people turned up, and everyone else in that. Is there a point in time you just got to put a lot of effort in and stuff, and then it gains momentum, or do you find you just get it straight out of the gate?
Well, I mean, we didn't get it straight out of the gate. Like, it took us 4 events before we're like, okay, we have a solid, like, the 6 originals came back for the second, and they brought a few people. I think we had maybe like 8 or 9 people at our second one, but it was more. And then we got up to like a dozen people, and then we were at like 25 people. And when we hit 25 people, we're like, okay, this is really good. But we had a few where it fell off, like, and then it's a matter of too, like, where do people want to go? Because we moved around a lot. We tested the waters. Like, we want to do one in this area. Okay, let's move 50 miles north and see how we do here. Let's go 20 miles east on this one and see what we get here. And then we kind of mapped out our area, like, this area we'll pull people from these places. The people from Mass and Maine and, and New Hampshire will come to these areas in Maine. The people from Northern Maine will come down if we do something here. So, like, we've kind of defined our areas. So now we have a layout. We, instead of just like kind of shooting and hoping, like, we had one event like 2 years in where we had 10 people show up. And that was like, we had been seeing 25 or 30 consistently. And then we put this one in this random spot. We thought it would be cool. Nobody showed up. But it's just the area was wrong. People didn't want to drive out. And we found out later too. It's like, but we asked, like, I have no problem asking people, why didn't you come to my thing? Hey, we had a thing. Why didn't you come, man? And they're like, dude, it was too far away. I didn't have the time. It was bad, and that, again, like, people they quit too early, and they don't kill what doesn't work and accentuate what does. I think that's the biggest failure for a lot of people. It's like, you put the effort in and it's that sunk cost and you won't kill it. But you have to kill certain things. Like, now we just don't do events in this certain sector of Maine. Like, people have asked too. We're like, we would, but you guys will be the only people there.
So you've established a pattern of some key learnings in those 40 events and that time frame of, like, here's the things that you focus on and you do, and here's the things that you just, like, maybe push that to one side. Don't do that, because
right.
In your experience that hasn't worked. This has worked. So I guess that's what the black belt training is all about. Is here's a pathway to putting this into something you've either already got or creating it right out of the gate, and setting it up from you. I'm a big fan of adding things to AGM and to your Reach machine as well. And I've talked a lot about it this year, especially with Reach. Reach is my specialist area, and there are a number of tools, mostly brought to us by Offline Sharks, that incorporate with Reach exceptionally well, and with AGM exceptionally well too. And I think if you're going to have something that is your prospecting methodology and the way that you go to market and actually find and connect with people, adding more resource to that only makes it perform even better. So that would be the overall, synopsis of your black belt training. Directory Accelerator is bring this angle in. You can see it in your market, and it works. Having that as a monthly thing that you do and stuff, and it's going to put you in front of more people who want your services and your products. Makes sense to me. It's certainly something. I've done my planning for next year, but I'm, very tempted to have something that is the same kind of thing without being a new chamber of commerce. I think I kind of want to focus in a specific area and go, hey, and we've made a few decisions around the direction we're heading in 25, and we are very focused in hospitality, but a number of different types of hospitality. But that we are moving next year to becoming a specialized hospitality agency. And so with that, there's a huge amount of networking opportunities in there. And it's not just bars and restaurants. We're talking about the hospitality.
Hotels.
Yeah, well, there's health hospitality is the one of them, which that includes like gyms and chiropractors and that sort of stuff. So, we've been building resource to go with that, to start building a networking group across those businesses as well could be really, really valuable. And I'm sure there are a number of suppliers that will, we know there are with restaurants and bars, and we know there are with gyms and that. But if you're chiropractors and wellness centers and those kind of things, maybe not so much. There's maybe not that networking group already exists, and so I see it as a great opportunity, and that's how I'm just thinking about putting it into my business. It's a great opportunity.
Newsletters. Utilizing this with a newsletter. That's where we're going this year. Every month when we have the event, the day after the event is the follow-up and the newsletter. And so even the people who don't come,
you republish it as well. So you send it out in the community that you've got and say high level, but then you could republish it in the agency site as well. And so forever there, and then you just do the if you've got a Facebook page, you've got an Insta, all those things like that. It's published there, but you don't have to put it on there. You just put the link to it there and get more eyeballs.
LinkedIn's big for, like, one of our articles is one of the things that shows up when you search us in LinkedIn, because we had some interaction on it and we had a couple people respond back to the post on the blog too. So, like, yeah, put it on social is great, because then if you're writing something relevant, people will show up. Like ours is about cannabis networking. You look up cannabis networking, our LinkedIn article link pops up. So, like, those are all things that, we're going to talk about too next week, but those are all things that, like, you can utilize it in so many different ways. And I really want to push for the newsletter in 25. That's going to be our next step.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Absolutely fantastic. Hey, Taylor, we do a couple of things every week, and
here comes the money.
One of my we'll get to that one. Yeah, because there's nothing better than giving away other people's money. Yeah. So, we do first up. We do accountability check-ins. And look, these are some of my favorite people in the whole wide world. Brandon, Daryl, Mark, Jerry. Had a really good catch up with Jerry yesterday, and man, these guys are all action takers. And most importantly, Jerry's really got some stuff dialed in with Clockwork clients. PPC, lead gen funnels and stuff in that A's, and he's really applying a lot of thought to it as well, and so that's just awesome. But these are our Agency Evolution members who did an accountability check-in this week, and to add to that as well is the super popular and wonderful 100K Club. Look, they stick me in the middle there. I should be down the bottom left corner. Nowhere near as important. But I've found my accountability check-in with 100K Club every week just gives me real purpose and focus, and I really benefit from it, because I'm looking at what I did last week and what I ticked off the board, and what's carried over to this week, and I sort of generally just say this isn't completed yet, but I've got this and this to do this week as well, and it's a great way to stay focused. So every single person on there, including myself and Dawn, is taking action and getting results as well. So that is it's a huge thing, and it's something that helps you focus, meeting your objectives and everything else. And that's what we're here to do. The more you meet, the more money you make. So we have some shark shout outs as well. And here's my buddy Chris Byrne, a Day Spa client. And I remember when he got this Day Spa client. It's a while ago now. But this, I read this, and it's just it warms my heart. It is a great story of someone that's having success because they connected with Chris, and Chris has delivered for them as well. Day Spa client started out having people work at her spa while she maintained another job at a different high-end spa. She's now quitting her position at the other high-end spa in January and going full-time with her employees at her own day spa. Traffic is up consistently, booking new appointments through effective marketing services rendered. And that's Chris's action and the way that he's brought this customer along and stuff, and that she's now able to stop working for someone else and just work for herself full-time. What a wonderful achievement. And you should be really proud of yourself, Chris. That's a great job.
That's awesome. Good job, Chris.
Hey, guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Look, mate. Why don't you walk us through this and tell us about what these parts are? You know, you held your third annual toy drive
Yep.
last night.
Yep. Like I was saying, we had 20 sponsors for that event last night. We had Cheech and Chong's company. We had Big Poppy, the baseball player. He's got a weed company. We had them as sponsors too. We had a bunch of big local places come out. We had 75 hours fit VPs, which was I think one of our highest yet. And like I said, 85, 90 people show up. So it was awesome. The Memorial Fund, Annie's Angels that we work with, like their representative was like head over heels on her way out. Like it took 8 people carrying stuff out to fill that minivan up with toys. And
Wow.
it
That's awesome.
was awesome. Yeah, it was so great. So we had 4 new members, a couple people. One of those was one of the people who just like came in off the street, like is not in the industry, never heard of UCAN, saw the flyer, saw that it was a holiday drive, saw networking, and was like, I'm going to bring my husband and come out. She's going to get a listing. She's like, I do mental health. She's a psychiatrist. So we got a new member there. Her husband's a computer programmer. He's looking for IT connections. We have a bunch of those. So our new members, I know we already got some good traction with that. We got 6 sponsors for our Afro Man concert in the summer, like big people, you know, like $2,500 sponsors to put stuff on that show.
Fantastic.
And so I mean, that's gonna be our biggest deal yet. You know, I mean, and we're doing an online broadcast for that concert. So Afro's got, 3-point-something million followers. We get a percentage of those people to buy an online ticket for that show next year too. And
wow, that's awesome.
That's going to be, that's going to be a big one.
Affiliate marketing, man. I've been on a big affiliate project all this week, and it's our own one as well. And so there's 3 of us involved in it. And I've actually just had a 2.5 hour planning meeting for it today. Affiliate is just sensational, and if you can tap into a database of 3.6 million, it's a pretty good affiliate place to be. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah. That is just stunning. I think there was a question here. Where in Maine are you from, Taylor?
I live in Massachusetts. I lived in Kennebunk, Maine. I lived in Kennebunkport for a little while. I lived in New York for a little while. Southern Maine, beach area. I surfed like all those times. It was when I lived there. It was when I was just surfing. But Maine, as far as the industry goes, doesn't have the red tape that Massachusetts does, and there's a lot of opportunity to do business poorly. So that's one of the reasons why we do so well with there, because we provide people a network of ancillary businesses that actually know the ins and outs of the market to help them. So we're all over Maine, though. We go as far north as Augusta, and we're down to York and out west, even out in bordering Conway, out that way. So we're all over the state.
Yeah, I see Mark Devencentis is he's on the south shore of Massachusetts, Taunton.
Oh, yeah, Taunton. I'm in Ipswich. I'm
cool.
North Shore.
Another old friend, Kristen Bernard, reported her 2,500 monthly reoccurring that bar restaurant client. She's working on giving herself a raise via some GMB work for all 3 locations. Proposal going out today. Fantastic. I remember when Kristen got this client. It was actually just after I moved to the USA, and she was in the group Remote Millionaires and said, "Hey, has anyone got any experience with bars and restaurants and stuff?" And that was predominantly all of my clients in New Zealand. So I sort of piped up and said, "Yeah, look, I've been dealing with quite a few of them for quite a long time," and we went through the package options to get this client underway, and that's over 2 years ago, and she's still moving them forward with an increased spend, reoccurring monthly, and so absolutely fantastic, because you've got when you get that client, kind of a foundation client, it's real easy to start getting other ones as well, and so yeah, you just get into that one, and it just grows and grows and grows, and the referral stuff comes to you, and all the other things as well. So congratulations, Kristen, because that is it's a great win, and I'm so glad you're having such great success with that client. So grand total this week is, look, I'm sure there's been other wins out there. I know last week was a short week, and so we had a low number in that. So I think we're collectively going to have to really punch it next week and get the number up as we close out this year. But $4,180, not to be sneezed at, and
that grand total
over 1,061 million. It's yeah, we're getting there. That's that's a lot of hard earned money and everything else on that. But let's close out the year. Let's really get into it and do that. And even I should probably report some of mine as well. I'm always guilty of that, and Shashan gives me a smack on the hand quite often, saying very naughty, and that I don't do it. But I kind of feel if you're sort of sitting here, I don't want to be going, no, look at me. So but next week I'll do a full update next week, and I hope everyone else does too. And Taylor, you'll be in that as well. You'll have to be reporting next week too. So fantastic.
I definitely will.
There we go. Hey, we're back. So if anyone's got any questions for Taylor, if you have any questions about the timings and the what the black belt training involves next week, please let us know. Well, you've been hanging out with Dawn too much, Richie. Yeah, she's some wins. It's funny because I tell Dawn about all my wins. I apologise. So look, there's the link is down the bottom there, offlinesharks.com, Directory Accelerator. Is it next Wednesday? Is that right?
Next Wednesday. My birthday's Thursday, so it's Wednesday. So if you guys want to come on in, just yell happy birthday at me too. Like, come on in. And if you're not using GHL, I've got some Google Sheets and some form templates and everything else for people to use. So like, if you're not using GHL, don't feel like you're excluded because I said I use it. Like, I'll give you things to do without having any other systems in place. So
yeah, and certainly I know that it'll be available there. If you're part of our community and you're interested in GHL, we can certainly we can hook you up at Offline Sharks. So as I said before, it is just the platform. I couldn't live without it. I could not run my business if I didn't have high level. And the best thing I did was I hired a high level expert of my own. And that just made everything explode for me this year. So, from April this year to now, we have just achieved so much of what I wanted to do has been done, including
nice.
She built a couple of new funnels for me overnight. And we were looking at them this morning. I was just blown away. They're just sensational. Such a level of detail. So anyway, I digress. We should do my favorite thing of all, and
here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money. Dollar.
Cheating, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
Woo! Yeah.
Woo, that's the best.
Hey.
I love it.
Alrighty, we want to enter hashtag live event. Actually, while you're doing that, I'll show you this. This is my Christmas jersey. Happy Paula Days, and it's got a picture of me holding a beer, my dog Molly, and my wife Mandy, and so we've got matching jerseys for Christmas this year, and we've always it's something since we came to America. We've done the Christmas jersey thing because back home in New Zealand it's summer, so you don't do Christmas jerseys in New Zealand. But here we do them, and so now we like to kind of get new ones every year, and that's this year's one. So I thought I'd bust it out and wear it today, and celebrate the festive time of year that it is. What are your plans for Christmas, Taylor? Are you sticking around? You going away? You got family coming over?
I'm chilling. We're just gonna chill. We're not doing much. We do Christmas Eve at my folks, and then Christmas Day here, and then that's it. Like, I'm sure my son will be like playing with his Oculus or doing whatever, like But it's going to be very mellow. I like the more mellow, the better for me. We used to run all over creation. It was like, this isn't a holiday. This is just a ball of stress. So now we just like chill. We make the calls. We say Merry Christmas to everybody. If people want to show up, they can. But we don't do much. I will be happy not doing much.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty, let's give away some money. Round and round we go. And Bob Banners. Mate, fantastic. Congratulations, Bob. And you know what? Let's give away some more money.
I like giving away money.
It's easy, it's easy. Yeah. And Paddy. Excellent. So I think everyone knows the drill. We just message your Cash App or your email, and we will get you hooked up and sorted out. Funny story, you mentioned Cheech and Chong before. I'm part of a club called the Nashville Burners, and it's Bernese Mountain Dog owners, and we have a Christmas parade every year out at Leapers Fork, and that's where a lot of big country stars and stuff live out there, and that, so the first year they went on this parade a couple of years ago, they have the radio station does the marshalling of it and stuff, and they describe the floats that are coming along and that, and it goes through this little wee small town, and there's about 30,000 people that sort of pack out there and watch it go past and stuff in that day. And Cheech and Chong were one of the floats that was in the Leapers Fork Santa Parade, and right behind them was the Nashville Burners, and the just from the radio station had no idea what burners were, and so it's Bernese Mountain Dogs, but it was the Nashville Burners, and they thought it was something to do with smoking.
Well, it was just built for the pun, right? Here comes Cheech and Chong. Here come the burners.
Right behind them are the burners, and so then the second year, which was last year, they came back on that, and they sort of they knew, okay, these are these really nice dogs, and stuff. So, but we've got that. I think it's either is this weekend or next weekend. It's one or the other. So it's always a great time and everything else. And this is my third Christmas here in America. And I love this time of year. I think Thanksgiving's a wonderful holiday. I think Christmas is great, and really look forward to it. So great fun.
We have some companies that make dog treats for you, so you could give the burners some treats from the burners.
Yeah, I'm actually building them their own AGM site. And so that's something I came up with a while ago. I was like, you know what? If I can set it up, and all the members, there's about 50 of us that some people got a couple of Bernese Mountain Dogs, some people got one, some people have a kind of hybrid, not pure, but either way, it's a wonderful community, and we get together every month as well. So it is technically like another networking event, but it could be formalized a bit better. And one thing we connected through was a mobile veterinary service. And Molly hates going down to the vets. So she had a bit of a gunky eye thing and that. And so they came out to us. And then the next door neighbour, who've got an Australian Shepherd, said, oh, our dog hates going to the vet as well. So that whenever they come out, we'll just get them to come out for both dogs at the same time, for vaccinations and stuff like that. But that was through an event. We went to Checkwood Park, and network. It was just networking. We just went up chatting and picked it up. So yeah, I think you have it.
Can't beat it.
Club formalized as online is a real easy thing to start a networking thing with, and then the supplier interest will come to you. They will find you out because you're their customers. So yeah, it's a great strategy, and it works really well. Taylor, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed hearing about your success with Directory Accelerator. Really excited about your training next week.
I'm pumped
to it. If you're on the fence, I think you've got an AGM site. You haven't got one. This is a great reason to get into it. It is a valuable thing to add to your business, and especially your prospecting, because networking is pure prospecting. It's simple as that. Have a great weekend, Taylor. Thank you to Shashan, who is behind the scenes, and this doesn't happen without her. She's wonderful. Stay safe, everyone. Practice aloha. We will see you again in 167 agonizing hours.
Woohoo!
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.